Well, well, well. Welcome back to another video, and whew, this one's quite rough, to be honest with you. We're going to get into the Roger Jackson situation. Now, I've had a lot of messages from people that I know saying, "What do I think? Do I think it's real, etc." Just, just asking my opinions about it. So I thought there's nothing better than just to make a video on it. So let's start from the basics. Let's start from who Roger Jackson is. So Roger Jackson is a MMA fighter, a professional MMA fighter at that, who is the son of the very well known and respected MMA great in Quinton Rampage Jackson. Why can't I say that, Jackson? Quinton Rampage. Oh my god. Um, Rampage Jackson. Anyway, now he's a son of Rampage, and they've become very mainstream at the minute because they've started to get involved in the streaming platform Kick, and now Kick's known for you can kind of get away with a lot. Like when you stream on Kick, it's that's been about for a long time, but it's really taken off. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where they reside from, and their content is so funny. Like you'd be an idiot if you said that you haven't come across their clips and thought, that's actually jokes. To be fair, like that's good content because they've they run with the father and son, and they run with the Rampage being ex UFC great. Um, but they also kind of like adopt a brotherhood, like a not so much just a father and son, but like a best friend kind of relationship, and that's what makes their content so good. And it just varies. It varies. It varies their content. It does. It's kind of like IRL, so it's like in real life streams. So they're kind of like vlogs in a way, but they have purpose. They have some meaning to it. There's always an agenda. Now they kind of came onto the scene because of Raja kind of came onto the scene because Rampage was streaming on his own platform and he had his own audience and stuff like that, and Raja would make an appearance in there, um, and it was quite clear, like very quick that them two together um, have a relationship for content, and you know that they can put it out at a good manner that's very eye catching for the viewer. Now it clicked on that Raja is actually somebody that can be on a screen, just because of how much he rage baits his father in Rampage, and a lot of people connected with Raja in a way because, I mean, why wouldn't they? He's an MMA great son, so they would want to support him as much as they do his father. So Raja ended up going his own way and having his own platform on Kick instead of being like a dual or at least being a guest into Rampages, and it's it. It started off quite well, but even when on the very first stream, he was already kind of like getting himself into trouble, like with public altercations and stuff like that. Um, See, Rampage, he's an absolute monster, like he's a beast. But if he can avoid a confrontation, he will. But if he has to be in one, he will. Like he'll back it. But whereas it kind of feels like Raja kind of not so much looks for it, but he doesn't want to shy away from it. He wouldn't do as much as Rampage would do to avoid one. Now, it falls off to the recent video that's going around. It's gone super viral, like crazy viral. At a professional wrestling event, I believe Raja was a guest, and he met some of the professional wrestlers. Um, one, uh, one was kind of, I don't know, not ego checked in a way, but he was kind of he pretty much said to Raja, "Do you not know who I am?" kind of thing. Like, and Raja's like, "No, like, should I?" Um, and that was kind of like an awkward confrontation from that one. I think his name's like Psycho Stu, the professional wrestler. Definitely know as Stu. And that altercation there was very awkward, and you can see Roger was very uncomfortable, and I think Stu was kind of like trying to play it off. I mean, you can kind of tell he was like shrugging off the altercation, like the awkwardness in that way, and trying to like make it still awkward but kind of friendly in a way, like a scripted environment. It's very hard to explain. It's kind of hard to describe because you could see from the IRL stream that Roger was doing that. Roger was uncomfortable, but you can also see that Stu was uncomfortable because I think Stu could kind of see it going in a wronger direction than Roger did, and instead of making it better from Stu, he kind of ignited it in a way because then he started playing with Roger a little bit. Obviously ego checking, saying, "Do you know who I am?" Blah blah. Now, someone that's a professional fighter, bearing in mind, about a week before that, he probably less than that, he took a nasty spinning. Oh, was it a heel kick or was it a spinning round kick? I can't remember, but the sparring footage, and he took a big kick that really like wobbled him, stumbled him down, and you see him go jelly legs. So he was obviously concussed at that point in that video. So why they would actually reach out to him to come into a thing where it's like a physical environment, I don't know. Um, Now it comes to a point where this Psycho Stu like reenacts stuff, and he like smashed like a bottle over Raj's head, and then Raj's like, "Look, I don't play that. Like, I don't play that." And apparently, the producers get in touch with him saying that you can get your get back um, in the ring, etc. Now, in all this time, whilst it was waiting and speculating and everything time was going by, Raja was on his stream looking at comments saying, "You're too kind," like, it's all scripted, it's fake. All this is probably getting in his head. Um, I mean, everybody has demons in the head, right? And especially when you're a son of a ex-professional, you've probably been in his shadow for your whole life, kind of thing. So he's probably got some mental demons there that he doesn't speak to or speak about to this day or won't admit. Now, seeing all these comments saying it's scripted, you weren't going to do nothing, like blah, 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 it could probably ignited him, especially with somebody that's not fully there already, who's kind of, I see red, like, I don't know, it's weird. For somebody that's a vegan, like, he has a lot of energy. That's crazy. Um, and he's got like a red meat type of personality, like very um testosterone fueled. So all you can really do is kind of imagine what's really going through his mind. You can kind of think like how you would think, but it's not necessarily saying that's what he would think, because let's be honest, he's training all the time. He's probably got so much stress with the streams, etc. Probably being in his dad's shadow. Um, Probably comments from being in his dad's shadow and saying you'll never be as good as your dad or whatever. He probably gets that all the time, and it probably comes to a point where, you know what, it's actually probably playing on him. And yeah, so this event goes by, and when it comes to the point, you won't do this, you won't do that. It's scripted, blah 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 blah. You're too kind, like you've just been played and all this. It's probably triggered the worst out of him. So even you can tell it's kind of like premeditated. I still don't know whether it is scripted or not. Whether it does look very very real, and like you can definitely tell things were connected. Um, And yeah, let's say Stu, I believe he's still lied up in hospital. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say that it's not scripted. It's hard to say that it is scripted when it's the circumstances. But you don't know whether Stu gave him the green light. But apparently, when he got lifted up, when Roger lifted him up, apparently you could see Stu smiling, because he thought it was still part of the thing. It was all part of the show, whatever. And then he kind of like let him carry him, and then slammed, and then some super unnecessary shots were landed, and it's hard to watch. It is very hard to watch. Like you, as a professional trained athlete, you know what you're doing when you're landing those shots. That's intent to You're intending to do something. Let's just say that, because unanswered and unprotected shots like that, no gloves, no nothing. You're trying to unalive somebody at that point. Let's be real. If this was a random David from the corner shop crossing paths with Stephen, who just come out of the corner shop, and they've had an altercation, and then one of them two have got on top of each other and landed them shots, and there's video proof of that, they're getting an attempted M charge. Let's just tell you that. They would. Now, we won't know until Stu's fully recovered or whatever. I'll hear his side, whether if it was scripted or whatever. We don't know. We don't know. We can only go from what we see at face value now. And I will say, from my opinion, face value, it is disgusting. It is bad. The people I feel sorry for in this is obviously Stu and his family, but at the same time, I feel sorry for Rampage, because he wouldn't have had a platform if it weren't for Rampage, and that's his son. You know what I mean? Regardless, that is still his son. He just chucked his life away. Somebody, not being funny, Raja, he was competing in MMA professionally. Yes, he would have never got to the levels that his dad did, but at the same time, he probably never even needed to. You're on a platform like Kick. You've got a lot of viewers and you've got a lot of backing. Before that, there's good money to be made on there. You probably didn't need to fight again. And that's crazy to say for somebody so early. And what, in these professional fights that he would probably turn up to, he would probably maybe getting 5k, if that, for a fight. Maybe. Maybe probably pushing doubles. Like pushing 5 figures because of his dad's name, maybe. I don't know. But speedy recovery, Stu. I mean, it's horrible to see. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about the whole situation. Let me know if you think it's scripted or it's not. What do you think? What do you think should happen to Raja? What happens from here? Let me know what you know that I don't know. If there's things in here that I haven't mentioned, because I've only mentioned what I only know. So if I've missed anything out, fill me in, please. But yeah, I want to thank you for coming across another video. And as always, please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel down below. And for that, I'll leave you here and I'll catch you at the next one. Whoosh.